Swan David Wheeler.
You started your career at Lewes, but how did you get into football to start with?
Well, like right from the beginning.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's just I grew up in a very sporty family. Mum and dad were both very much into sport, and I think it just like naturally come from that. I started playing five-a-side football when I was about 8, I think, and then yeah, I played like quite a good standards. Got sort of picked for rep squads, and then went on trial at Brighton. And then I got signed by the Centre of Excellence there, and I was there from I think about 10 to 16. And then I was released at 16, and that's when I went to Lewes under 18s, and sort of played the rep squads for Sussex during those couple of years, and broke into the first team. And at the time, the first team was in the conference.
Yeah.
So yeah, played conference football and Conference South for Lewes for I think 4 years. And when Lewes got relegated to the Ryman Prem, that's when I moved to Staines.
Yeah. So how did that move to Staines come about? Like, what was it that attracted you to Staines?
Well, it was to be honest, it was mainly because I was studying sports science at Brunel University. So it was a toss up really between I think Staines, Hampton, and Richmond, and Woking, maybe Farnborough as well. Like all the sort of west side of London sort of clubs of that caliber. And I think it was just that Angie picked up my message and relayed it to Cords, and I think Cords just got in touch straight away and said we're really interested, because I think I played against Staines like a couple of times in my time at Lewes.
Yeah.
And I knew Scott Taylor he come to Lewes for when we were in the conference, so I knew Scott Taylor as well. So there was that link as well.
You made your Staines debut away at Welling, I believe it was. How was that for you? Do you remember much of the game?
Trying to think back now. I can't remember if it was this game, but I do remember getting shoved into there's like a little wall behind the goal at Welling, or they always used to be. I think I tried to keep a ball, when one of the defenders like shepherded the ball out for a goal kick. I tried keeping it in, and I got shoved and smacked against the wall, and that was I think that might be my first game for Staines actually. But I remember quite early on I scored a couple, I think maybe against Bromley at home. Scored a brace against Bromley, and that was the start really, like where I sort of hit the ground running, I think.
Yeah, so your first couple of goals for Staines was a couple of weeks after your debut. That was Boreham Wood.
Boreham Wood. I know it began with a B, yeah.
It's close enough.
Yeah.
Do you remember the goals?
I know one was a header. Yeah, I can't remember the other one really. One of them was like sort of a near post header, I think.
So what was your feeling after the first season overall? How do you think that went for you personally and for the team?
Yeah, I mean, it was quite nice for me because I've been playing for my hometown club for years, and there was all that added pressure of having friends and family come to watch and asking you how it's all going and stuff, and I think having that pressure taken off my shoulders to a large extent when I came to Staines. I think I played much more relaxed, and I think I played a much freer game when I come to Staines, I think. And yeah, I think I had a good season. I think that my second season was probably better, but my first season was good. I think we struggled as a team. I think we just escaped relegation both seasons I was at Staines, but we had decent players. It's just one of those things. Didn't really click enough times throughout the season.
Yeah. So you picked up the captaincy in your second season. How was that for you?
Yeah, I mean, I think I was 21 at the time, so yeah, it was quite a big deal, and yeah, it was nice actually. It was nice to take on that responsibility, and I felt that because I was one of the few players that had stayed from the previous year, I felt like I had that status in the team and in the club by that point. So yeah, it was nice. It was nice to be given that responsibility.
So in both your seasons at the club, you won Player of the Year and Players Player of the Year. Nice little double of doubles for you there.
Yeah.
So how was that for you? Like, made you proud to be recognised by everyone, really?
Oh yeah, really proud. I think always the one that's most touching is when you get the Players Player award, just because what your fellow players, your teammates think of you is probably the pinnacle, really. So I think that was the most touching part of it. But obviously to be honoured by the management and the club as well was, yeah, like I'm very, very proud of that for sure.
So you say you just avoided relegation both seasons you were at Staines, but how would you sum up your overall time at the club? Like, enjoyable?
Oh yeah, definitely enjoy. I felt welcome from the first minute to the last, really. And even when I went to Exeter, the club did their absolute best to keep me. So yeah, I had good relationships with Matt and with the staff, and with the players that I played with. So, and still speak to people that I know from those days as well. That there's fans that I had a good relationship with. So yeah, like apart from obviously would have liked to have had a bit more success on the pitch, I think it was an enjoyable experience.
So obviously you say you remember getting shoved into that little wall, but you got any other memories that stick out from your time at the club?
Oh yeah, I think we beat Hampton and Richmond 7-1 in I think it was the Middlesex Senior Cup or something. I think that was pretty good moment. Winning the cup, that was to be captain and lifting the trophy was nice. That was, I think it was played at Uxbridge actually against Ashford. So yeah, that was great. Trying to think back through the years. Yeah, obviously there's going to be the goals, some of the goals that I'd scored, like mainly at home, that I'm proud of. Scoring in the FA Cup for Staines. I think maybe that was Beaconsfield in the FA Cup. It was one of my better goals. So yeah, there's definitely good moments on the pitch.
So if you moved from Staines on to Exeter, how did that move come about? And how was it to play in the Football League?
Yeah, it was just a chance meeting, really, of a guy I'd played against over the years who played for Bath City. He just, I ended up chatting with him in the bar after the game, I think at Staines, and he said would I want to play league football? Do I have that ambition? And I said, yeah, like I'd love to give it a go. And he said that he had a link at Exeter, and at the time I didn't even know what league Exeter were in, I don't think. And I said, yeah, obviously, yeah, I'd love the chance. I think Gus Hurdle as well, who was the assistant manager at Staines at the time, he set me up with a trial at Dagenham, and it just so happened that I preferred it down at Exeter. and unfortunately they offered me a contract.
So what was it like getting to play in the Football League? Like, obviously a proud moment having worked your way up through the lower leagues, but how was that generally for you?
Yeah, incredible, really. Like the jump from playing in front of a few hundreds in non-league to 4,000 or 5,000 every other week is, it's a big jump. And yeah, it was definitely quite daunting at first, for sure, and very challenging. You got obviously very, very experienced, technically gifted, and physically powerful players at League Two level, for sure. So yeah, it was quite daunting, but obviously very exciting at the same time.
Obviously, you were there for 4 years, I think it was, just under 150 games. One of those games was the League Two playoff final. Obviously, unfortunately, lost to Blackpool. But how was it to play and score in that game? Like, what with it being at Wembley, the magnitude of the game?
Yeah, I mean that whole season was pretty amazing, really. We'd gone from, I think we were maybe second bottom in November to finishing fifth, I think we did in the end. And obviously, yeah, like one goal away from getting promoted. So yeah, amazing season. And obviously, and for me especially, scoring 20 goals was definitely the highlight of my career. And scoring that goal at Wembley, obviously, I still remember what it was like, and that feeling of celebrating in front of all the Exeter fans, and at the time thinking that we were going to go on and win was a great feeling.
Exeter not wasting any time, looking to get on with this. Oh, and what a ball that could turn out to be! It's Wheeler! It's the equaliser! Almost out of nothing. Exeter pull themselves level. And it's David Wheeler, his 21st goal of the season. He's having his best ever scoring campaign.
Following Exeter, you moved on to QPR. Obviously, you didn't play too many times for them. You went out on loan a couple of times. What was that period of your career like for you?
Yeah, it's probably the most challenging part of my career, I'd say. Making that step up, jump up 2 leagues was a big step. And yeah, things obviously didn't quite work out at my time at QPR. And the first half of the season, I was involved here and there on the bench most games, coming on here and there, and then scoring on my debut obviously was a big highlight. And then got an injury that finished, ended my season really in about December time. So yeah, and then going on loan to Portsmouth, like amazing club. I really enjoyed my time, despite again not playing that often. Playing sort of a bigger part in the Checker Trade Trophy, like the league trophy, which Pompey ended up going on and winning. And then in January, because I hadn't really played very often, I decided to go on loan to a different club. I ended up going to MK Dons and rejoining with my old manager that I had at Exeter, Paul Tisdale. And sort of back in League Two, and gratefully worked out really well. Played a lot of games, and we got promoted. So it was really positive.
And obviously, in your time at QPR as well, you played against Staines in a friendly, scored a couple in that game as well. So how was that get to come back to Staines for that?
Yeah, it was really nice actually. It was really nice. It was it was a nice touch that Steve McLaren made me captain for that game, which was a nice touch. And yeah, it was nice to come back and see some old faces and play on that pitch again. Like still one of the best non-league pitches I think around. So yeah, it was really nice nostalgia for me, and nice to give a good account and score a couple of goals as well.
And then you got your move to Wycombe. First season there ended up winning the playoffs this time. But how was it playing in that game? What with it being an empty Wembley, obviously because of the whole coronavirus thing, compared to when you were there with Exeter?
Yeah, I mean, well, when I went with Exeter, it was pretty empty because Blackpool fans at the time were having a bit of a strike against the owners, so they hardly brought anyone. And Exeter's not got a huge fan base, so we brought the most of the fans that were there were ours. But still, there was probably 2/3 of the stadium at least that was empty, so it was fairly empty then. Great atmosphere, a much better atmosphere, obviously. Great atmosphere the first time around, but I think, to be honest, because we'd played the previous 2 playoff games with no fans, we got used to the idea of it. It certainly was eerie going out for the game, but I think because there was so much riding on it, I think there was plenty of excitement, adrenaline, plenty of focus, and I think once the whistle goes, you play how you're going to play. The fans certainly give you a lift, in between the whistles, but I think we did the job, and I think we would have played the same way.
Where is Wycombe? Wait, where is Wycombe? One more time, because they didn't hear us. Where is Wycombe?
It must be a shame not to be able to celebrate with fans in the ground, obviously, given that it was Wycombe's first promotion to the Championship as well.
Yeah, definitely, a definite shame. And they obviously would have loved to have been there, and we'd have loved to have had them there and had them there for this season as well. We've definitely missed them, and we briefly had them for a couple of games this season before we went into another lockdown. And it's been a real shame. It's definitely hollowed out the experience of playing without fans. So the sooner they get back, the better, for sure.
How would you describe your time at Wycombe? How's the mood around the club? Obviously, given struggling a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, it's similar to my experience that I had at Exeter, in the sense that it's a very sort of warm club, very sort of family orientated and very welcoming. And the atmosphere in and around the changing room, that there's a very good culture at Wycombe, and that's instilled by the manager and the assistant manager, and we call them the generals. That we have the sort of senior players in the squad that make sure that the culture is right, and there's a culture of respect and trust amongst the players, and it's really good. It sort of allows each player to be themselves and be comfortable in the environment.
And obviously, during this season, obviously picked up the first Championship win for Wycombe against Sheffield Wednesday. You scored the winner in that game. How was that for you on a personal level, and how happy were you for the club?
Yeah. Obviously, always, as a personal note, always nice to score. And in the scoring again in the Championship, great. But I think from the club's perspective, from the team's perspective, it was such a huge thing to get the first win on the board in the Championship. I think that was such a big deal to give us a bit of confidence that we can compete.
Yeah. So during your time at Staines, obviously you're only there for a couple of seasons. But could you pick a five-a-side team that you'd want to play with from players from your time at the club?
Oh, I think it'd be Jack Turner in goal, because he could probably play out pitch as well, to be fair. I think probably trying to think that now. Probably Danny Gordon at the back. Am I picking myself or am I not picking myself?
That's up to you.
Yeah, I'll pick myself. Probably Scott Taylor because he was the best finisher that I played with, I think, at the club, and just like generally a bit of a Staines legend. So he's got to be Scott Taylor, and then probably Ali Shaban, just because like technically one of the best players I played with at Staines, and yeah, on his day he was unplayable. So, and he's very technically good. So yeah, that would probably be my five-a-side team.
How about from all your players you played with at all your clubs? Same question.
Oh, geez. That makes it a lot more difficult. Okay. Yeah, I'd probably say. Trying to think now. I've probably got to pick Ollie Watkins now that he's been selected for the England squad. Yeah, I'd say Matt Grimes probably. He's playing for Swansea at the minute. Got to pick myself again. That's three. Who else would I pick? I'm trying to think now. Trying to think who else would be good. Defenders. Got to pick a defender and a goalkeeper, haven't I? Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. Probably pick David Stockdale because he'd definitely fill a 5-a-side goal, let alone a 11-side goal. So he's going in there. And then I got to pick a defender now. Probably Ned Manure at QPR.
I think last thing, you got any message for the Staines fans that be watching this?
Yeah, I'd say, stay involved in the club. Do your best to volunteer where you can, because I think that's where clubs like Staines thrive, is off people, of goodwill, really, of the fans and being part of the community. And I think that's probably how it's likely to get back to the club it was when I left, I suppose. Yeah, that's what I would say, I guess.
Right. That's all the questions I've got. So I think that's everything,
Cool.
really.
Nice one.
Nice one. Thanks for your time.
No, you're welcome.